The power behind the ultimate mompreneur brand is Tobagonian Kalisha Mills. Kalisha is a wife, a mom of four, and entrepreneur with 15 years experience. Kalisha is the connector of ambitious mompreneurs around the world, and she joins us this morning to talk about balancing work, home, and that post-season stress. Kalisha, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the Now Morning Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Love that you're in your white, and I also envy that you're in Tobago. How's beautiful Tobago?
Tobago is beautiful this morning as always.
Yes, as always. Now, I want to get right into it because I want to know a little bit more about you, Kalisha. Tell us about yourself and also tell us why did you decide to work in that capacity, helping women to balance or get that work-life balance?
All right. So, as you said, I am a wife. I am also a mom of four young children, and I've been in business for now almost 15 years. And during all of those ups and downs, successes, failures, while having children, I believe that I was in one of the best positions to work with and speak with and build a network of other women just like myself who would have been going through challenges through business, not having someone to connect with, to talk to, going through most of their challenges alone, feeling that there is no one like them going through the same challenges. And so through one of my business failures, I found that in reaching out to other women that they indeed needed a community or a community of women that they could all share the same stories that we have. And so that is what I have built through the Ultimate Mompreneur and through all of our events that we have had, especially recently with our brunch. So this is what I have built for all of the moms out there.
Yeah. Now, of course, when it comes to the Christmas season, we know Christmas can be joyful, it can be cheerful, but we also know that it comes with it a lot of stress. Now, although we would have passed the Christmas season, I want to know if you can share some tips to help us manage that stress as we look into, let's say, the carnival season or even the other holidays that we do celebrate here in TNT.
All right, so I know that the Christmas season for some, yes, it is a time of joy, but for others, it is a time of pain from losing loved ones. You may be alone with your own family and away from your other family, as well as the kids being at home and expecting certain things from you as parents, right? And so that could come with a lot of stress the entire season and getting the house ready, even with business, sometimes it is a boost for others, other times it's a downtime for others. And so that entire season comes with a lot of stress. And so working into the new year, I always like to share with other women that we should start planning even well before the Christmas season so that when it comes upon you, it's not so overwhelming as it seems to be. So I usually start planning my next year from October, and I ensure that I know what I need to do during the Christmas season, during that downtime, as well as through the hectic new year. We know a lot of persons make resolutions and have great grand plans, especially health wise and business wise, and that tends to typically fade as we go into February and March. But if we start planning from before Christmas season, October, then we could now ease into the plans that we would have already had, and it wouldn't feel as overwhelming as it seems. So that is one of my major tips for decreasing that overwhelm that comes in the new year.
Yeah. Now, Kalisha, it sounds good on paper, right? To start planning your life in
Yes,
advance, even planning from the October
yes.
before. But when you're in the throes of things, you may not get time to plan everything. So if you already started the new year without planning, what can we do now to help with that post-stress that we're getting after the Christmas season, or even guide us as we look forward to the upcoming one this year?
Right. So I know that stress also comes when you feel as though you don't have enough support, as well as when your family is not on the same page as you. All right. So one thing that you can do right now is to, have a short meeting with those that are in your immediate family or those who you are with on a regular basis. Let them know what are your plans, what you would like to do, and ask for as much support as you can. All right. Most times we go things alone. And when we have all those additional tasks added onto us, we feel as though no one is helping or no one, is supporting you. But sometimes it's because they really don't know, what it is you have to get done. So if
Yeah.
if you include the kids, if you include your spouse, your relatives in, asking for that assistance for things that you need to do for your business, for yourself, then that is another way that it would seem, less overwhelming for you going into the next season as well as in this season.
Yeah. And as we look forward to that time management, right? Because it's all about balancing work, home, season, that sort of thing. How do we find a way to efficiently manage our time to ensure that everybody wins, sort of, at the end of it all?
Right. So again, asking for that support, managing your time. One of the things that helps me is planning. That's a major thing, but also, that setting of priorities. So yes, as you said, it looks good on paper. There can be 1 to 10, maybe almost 20 things that we as women, as moms, need to get done on a daily basis. But what helps me is listing the priorities first. So, what are the top 3 things that I need to get done during this day? Because sometimes that is all that we can plan for. Tomorrow, so many things can happen, plans change. But for today, what are the top 3 things that I can get done that would help me to manage my time today? And everything else, would come during the day. But first, the top 3 things that helps me with my time management a whole lot.
Yeah. And as we look forward to the new year, you would hear people talking about resolutions, right? How guilty should you
Yes.
feel if you set those goals or you set those resolutions and by February or March you kind of fall off? I mean, is it a time to go back to the drawing board and reset some goals? I mean, what should moms do in that case?
All right, so this might be something that is different, but I don't believe in setting those resolutions because studies show that almost everyone who sets resolutions by February, March, it's out the door, all right? So what I think you should do again is to say, okay, in this first quarter, take it, in 3 month sections. What can I do to help move my life, my business, my family forward? It's all about priorities, as I just said. So in 2023, we would say, okay, I would want this to be my fittest year, right? We would start off the gym as most people on January 3rd. And by the end of January, like, we are the gym membership is almost lost, right? So what I say is to, set that first 3 months. Okay, go hard at it, focus on it. Focus is very, very important. Try your best to eliminate all of the distractions that may come to take you off your path, and I believe that that would help a great deal.
Yeah. Now, while moms are balancing work, home, and post-season stress, they also need to balance themselves and their self-care. I mean, we've had this whole conversation over the past few years about self-care and putting together some time for yourself. How can moms
Mhm.
find that little bit of time for themselves to ensure that they are also taking care of themselves?
Right. So what I like to do is to set non-negotiable time, right? So one of those times for me is when I go to the gym. I go to the gym on afternoons 3 times for the week. That is my non-negotiable time. My entire family knows, okay, this is the time that I am at the gym, right? Also, in my Ultimate Mompreneur Planner that I created, there is an entire section for women and mom that you could schedule that non-negotiable time in the planner. All right. And what I believe and what I've experienced is that the more time that you dedicate for yourself, apart from your family, yes, we love them, but with all of the responsibilities, it does force us to, want that time for ourselves. So in the planner, there is a section where you can set all of your self care dates, months, right? And that will help you to ensure that that non negotiable time is not only followed by yourself, but is also understood by your family members.
Yeah. Now, while the strategy that you offer is for that mompreneur, right, that mother who is also an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, can it be tailored to someone who, let's say, has a 9 to 5 or a corporate job? Can you also use some of the strategies that you share with them for that person who has a normal 9 to 5?
Of course, because I also have, in addition to all of my responsibilities, I do have a corporate job as well. And let me tell you, this first week, yes, high stress
Yes,
levels.
yes.
And what I have found is that I had to de-stress a lot, take time away from the desk. All right, take time to really have all of those thoughts that go through your head, all of the different things that you need to get done. Take the time to step away, take a moment for yourself. If it means just driving out of the office, taking your lunch away from the office, all right, and or even as we are in Tobago, you take a drive to the beach and just sit and de-stress. Time away, moments to distress, at least 10 minutes. That I believe is one of a great tool to help you to manage that stress.
Yeah, I saw what you did there with that Tobago and that drive to the beach at Kalisha. I saw what you did there,
Yes.
but it's fine. Before we go, any additional tips, anything you want to tell our viewers before we end?
I just want to encourage you. A lot of persons are now really fully back out into work mode. We have had 2 years of, being at home and having different changes in our lives and our homes, our families. And as we get back into that kind of back to work mode, I want us to continue with some of the things that we would have experienced during COVID, where being with the family, taking time away from, all of this work, and even for yourself, moving into this year, so that our mental health or our stress levels could be managed better. So that is one of my great tips for you today.
Nice. And Kalisha, before you go, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, are there any social media handles you can leave, any website information?
Yeah, so you could check my website. We have a lot of amazing events coming up with other women entrepreneurs. You can check KalishaMills.com, KELISHAMILLS.com. And on social media, all of my handles are at Kalisha Mills.
Nice. Well, Kalisha, thank you so much for joining us on the Now Morning Show, albeit from beautiful Tobago. And I hope you have a great week ahead. Take care.
Thank you so much. The very same to you.
And that was Kalisha Mills, CEO of the Ultimate Mompreneur, just sharing some tips on how moms and entrepreneurs can balance work, home, and of course, that post-season stress.